Hi, this is Elaine Sanderson from Britain's Best Photography again. I'm going to share with you today something I found quite recently that was really useful for wedding photographers. It basically is a 4 DVD set which takes you through a wedding photography situation. The footage covers a wedding itself, but it also covers like a 2-day wedding workshop. And Nick Stubbs is the guy that's actually produced this DVD set. He's been 25 years into the wedding photography business, and throughout this DVD set he seems to have a grasp on what wedding photographers go through on the wedding day. They've got to get everything right basically. Not only do you have to deal with people, be polite, be very aware of what's going on around you, you've also got to get your photography spot on so the clients can get some great photos. I mean, it's quite a tall order. So he's very aware of this demand that's on the photographer. So what really struck me when I watched these DVDs is the fact that he can almost guarantee you're going to come away from that wedding with shots that you can confidently use for your clients and they'll be very pleased with. So the way he does this, he talks a lot about safety shots, setting up safety shots. And there's certain ways of doing this, certain settings you use. He endorses using these safety shots throughout the whole wedding, and then after you've done your safety shots, be creative with natural light and be creative in any way you wish to, but you really must get the safety shots first. Okay, and it drummed home to me that there's some very useful information on that. In a wedding situation, photographers have to deal with very tricky lighting situations. Churches are dark, the venue may be dark with artificial lighting, you can have candlelight in churches. Then you're going to be thrown outdoors where there's bright sunshine. You're going from sort of dark to light. Now this is very difficult for a photographer. Now Nick talks through how to deal with that situation and how not to be surprised or thrown on the day. You know exactly what to expect. So he talks you through the settings and how to deal with that effectively. Okay. The other thing that Nick covers is basically salvaging shots that might be mediocre. Okay, he does endorse shooting in RAW. There are photographers out there that shoot in JPEG, but Nick talks you through why he feels you should shoot in RAW. Basically, if any errors are made on the day, you might not have your ISO right, your aperture, your shutter, the exposure may be wrong, all is not lost. You take your RAW files home, and then you can basically work on them. You can dig a bit deeper and you can correct them. You can salvage most of these shots. In JPEG that's just not possible. So he talks a lot about using RAW and why you should, and how to sort of make the batch processing easy so you're not sort of working on every single image at any stage. He also talks about when to use flash and when not to use flash. Okay, there's certain situations when it's a must and certain situations when it's a no-no, so that's covered in quite some detail. He also talks about recceing, do a recce before the day. He does cover this in some detail again, what to do in the recce, what to look for, what not to miss, and what time of day to do it. And that is so important to make sure that on the day everything's going to go really smoothly for you. He also talks about what to do if it rains. Okay, we're in the UK, rains all the time. You're going to come across that situation, so just be aware and prepared for it. He does cover some posing and some backgrounds, but most of this DVD is really about dealing with light, tricky situations. Okay, now there's quite a lot of the DVDs focused to Photoshop. Obviously most of you out there will probably be using Photoshop. So he does cover how to bring out the highlights, say in the bright eyes, how to get rid of colour cast, so you get that horrible yellow and say red colour cast, how to knock out the backgrounds to bring the bride and groom into focus. He talks about like how to eliminate shine and shadows on faces. Okay, now in one of the tutorials he actually creates a champagne glass scenario where there's a bride and a groom, a lovely sunset abroad. They go down to take the shots outside and the groom's forgotten his champagne glass. So he talks through how to create that without it really being there. Sort of clever stuff. Not only that, but he's given away a few free ebooks. Okay, we've got an in-depth foundation course for beginners. There's advanced photography techniques. There's a $47 book on how to sell stock photos. Another one on the business of photography. And also there's a few interviews in there. He's interviewed some wedding photographers to interview them how they work and what they use and what they do, what tips and tricks they got up their sleeves. And also there's an interview with the wedding couple. They're just about to get married, so it's looking at it from their perspective and what they really want to get out of their wedding photographer. Check it out. I thought it was good, and I hope you do too. Thanks for listening.